As the world's attention shifts to the Israel-Hamas war, Ukraine fears being left behind in a costly fight against Russian forces and anxiously awaits Congress to pass a new aid package before winter arrives. Ukraine was already concerned before the Gaza war broke out when Congress failed to include funding for Kiev in an interim government spending bill because a group of House Republicans strongly resisted doing so. And the House this week voted approve a $14 billion package to Israel without Ukrainian aid, rejecting President Biden's request to combine aid for the two countries into a single package, along with funds for Taiwan and U.S. border security. Rudik, a member of Ukrainian parliament, said she was hopeful Congress would eventually pass the new Ukraine fund but was worried that U.S. elections were approaching. Complicating debate. I can't tell you what it feels like be here in Ukraine. Talking to people whose ability fight depends on decisions made in such a remote place, he told The Hill. It will have a huge impact on real lives of real people here who have no impact on Congress, but whose lives will be completely changed if the decision is made late or if decision is made, he said of another relief package. It should definitely not be done. Newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson has presented a plan to tie Ukrainian aid to border security and expressed a willingness to support Kiev despite past votes against Ukrainian aid. But he insists that Israeli aid must act separately from Ukrainian funding. That could make passage difficult given the GOP's growing skepticism about continued support for Kiev. Rep. Don Bacon, an ardent Ukraine supporter who sits on the House Armed Services Committee, supported Johnson's plan to separate Ukraine aid from Israeli aid, saying a combined package could delay emergency funding to Israel. I am optimistic that we'll get this done, Bacon told The Hill. Doing this with border security would get more Republicans on board, he added. If you did Ukraine alone, we would lose about half the Republicans. Johnson said the Ukraine aid and border security package would follow Israeli legislation that includes major cuts to the Internal Revenue Service budget. Israel package faces resistance in Senate. Democrats want to combine Israeli and Ukrainian financing and oppose cuts to the IRS in legislation passed by the House. Sen. Michael Bennet, who delayed voting for hours on a short-term government spending plan in September because it did not include Ukraine aid, said he would not support any legislation that failed to unite Ukraine and Israel. Republicans in the House are turning their backs on the Ukrainian people. Bennet said in a statement, "This is an important test of America's resolve. This is a moment when the rest of the world is watching how America chooses to lead." The Biden administration has also criticized the Israeli House bill, and Biden has vowed to veto it, in part because it